Winnipeg fire crews are cleaning up after a garage fire in the city's west end. Crews were called to this detached garage in the 300 block of Victor Street early this morning. There are no reports of any injuries. The cause remains under investigation. Still no word on how much damage was caused. The Assiniboine Park Conservancy is getting extra cash from the city to cover cost overruns at the Journey to Churchill exhibit. Council voted unanimously to approve a $4.5 million advance on next year's budget. That will help the zoo cover additional heating costs that were incurred over the winter. A report calls the shortfall serious and says the Assiniboine Park Conservancy won't be able to manage without the extra money. Meanwhile, the city also voted in favor of an infrastructure wish list for federal funding. That list includes building an underpass on Waverly Street near Taylor Avenue and widening Kenniston Boulevard and Marion Street. The city is renaming a bridge in honor of a former councillor. Council voted to rename the Redwood Bridge the Harry Lazarenko Bridge after the former Minarski councillor. He served on council from 1977 to 1980 and then again from 83 to 2010. Lazarenko suffered a brain aneurysm in May of that year and did not return to council. Built in 1908, it is the city's oldest bridge. The province has received approval from the federal government to reopen the Lake St. Martin emergency outlet next week. If lake levels reach 803 feet above sea level, the province has the go-ahead to use the channel. Officials say those levels could be reached as early as next Wednesday. It will take crews about 5 days to reopen the channel again.
That will provide immediate relief in and around Lake St. Martin. It would also provide long-term relief for Lake Manitoba. It's particularly important for Lake Manitoba in terms of the fall and winter because it will allow us to continue to operate the Fairfoot at its maximum capacity.
Elsewhere, the province says it may need to use the Portage diversion, but that depends on wet weather and increases in outflows from the Shellmouth diversion. More heavy rain could force the province to use the floodway to help reduce basement flooding in Winnipeg. The federal government is launching a statutory review of Canada's transportation legislation. The review is a year ahead of schedule to address a range of challenges and conditions, like those related to grain transportation on the prairies. The review will also look at what other improvements can be made in other areas, including transportation gateways and corridors, safety and environmental, and support for the northern transportation system.
For a transportation system to move people and to move goods, to support our economy, it needs to be modern, it needs to be responsive, and our legislation and our policy framework have to support a system that's safe and secure and clean and efficient.
Recommendations will be submitted by the end of next year. The government hasn't done a statutory review of the Canada Transportation Act since 2001. The skip of Canada's Olympic gold medal winning curling team at the Sochi Games has had his champion ring stolen. RCMP say Brad Jacobs' ring and some other items were stolen from a motel room in Boyle, Alberta last week, where Jacobs was taking part in a charity golf event. The ring's face is inscribed with the words Olympic Champions 2014 and on the inside with Brad Jacobs' skip.
Final stone trying to fry calling.
Jacobs and his team from Sault Ste. Marie qualified for the Olympics by winning the Roar of the Rings at MTS Centre in December. The team then won their final 9 games in Sochi to win the gold. Argentina has completed a perfect run through the group stage at the FIFA World Cup thanks to a 3-2 victory over Nigeria.
Set near side, Di Maria off the post.
Lionel Messi scored twice for Argentina, who won all 3 of their group games. Nigeria also advanced to the next round thanks to Iran's 3-1 loss to Bosnia-Herzegovina. Elsewhere, Switzerland advanced to the knockout round with a 3-0 win over Honduras, while France and Ecuador played to a scoreless draw. The group stage will come to a close today with 4 games on tap. At 11, Germany meets the U.S. and Portugal battles Ghana. Then at 3 o'clock, it's Belgium against South Korea and Russia taking on Algeria. More news coming up at 7 o'clock. Now we'll check in with Jenna at Investors Group Field.